Hello and welcome to the Congo Hour. My name is Trippy Congo. I'm here by myself for now. So far this evening, my dad will be here at 8:30 for Sammy's Corner, but Wayna is off at the comedy show, helping Gundy out with the nephew Tommy comedy show. So she has off tonight, but nevertheless, we're gonna keep on going. We have 2 interviews this evening. I have Miss Jenny Pitts, who's going to come down and talk about the People's Festival, which is happening on July 27th, right here in the city of Wilmington. It's the annual tribute to Bob Marley. And also we have our Student of the Week, even though there is no school is officially on summer break, but we still wanted to continue the weekly tradition of our Student of the Week program. So we have Mr. Shannon Thompson, who is here, who is going to be recognized this evening. Also, we have our community news. We have some funeral announcements. As I said earlier, we have Sammy's Corner at 8:30. And then I think we have a couple ticket giveaways also. So make sure you stay tuned until the end of the show. All right, just want to welcome to the show, Shannon.
Hi.
How you making out, boss?
Good.
You doing all right? You want to introduce yourself and just let people know your name and what school you go to, how old you are?
My name is Shannon Thompson. I'm 14, and I attended Prestige Academy. Just graduated. During the fall, I'll be going to Del Castle, and that's pretty much.
Okay, yeah, congratulations on graduating from Prestige.
Thank you.
How'd you like it at Prestige?
It was different.
It was different?
From regular schools.
Okay. How so? How was it different?
Like, normal schools, teachers wouldn't like, more so care about you a lot. Like, to where your grades dropping. Mm-hmm. And many of your teachers at Prestige would tell you if your grades were dropping and try to give you extra credit. At normal schools, they wouldn't do that.
So you could tell the teachers really cared about you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Perry. Yeah, he has a great program over there. He's your principal over there, right? Yeah, he's a good guy. He's been on here a few times, and he really has a love for children and their education. So I'm sure that his whole team over there has the same.
Mm-hmm.
You said you went there for 3 years, right?
3, yes.
Okay. When you go to Del Castle, what do you plan on taking up?
I'm thinking about cosmetology and digital media.
Okay, that's pretty good, man. I like that. So you brought somebody here with you this evening, didn't you?
My mom.
Your mom, all right. Hey, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
I'm good.
That's good. I know you must be extremely proud of Shannon.
I am. I'm very proud of him. He tries to stray away at times, but he's a pretty good kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have 2 jobs too, right?
2
Yeah,
jobs.
not only are you doing well in school, where do you work?
I work at the McDonald's on Kirkwood Highway in the shopping center with Marshalls, and I work at a summer camp, Kids for Christ summer camp.
Okay. How do you like working at the summer camp?
It's very, very fun, but then it's also like irritating.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Because you work with kids like almost my age, so.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. How long have you been there? It's just for the summer, right? That's just a summertime
Just for the
job?
summer. But I used to go there probably about 2 years ago.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that's good, man. So what's your daily routine there at the summer camp? Like, what do you do?
Go there, basically just watch them
Mm-hmm.
and take them to the park and stuff like that.
Yeah, they all. Do they listen to you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. You haven't had to take off your belt yet, have you?
Nah, I can't do that.
Nah. Sometimes you want to?
Oh, yeah.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that, boss. So what about McDonald's? How long have you been working there?
Approximately about 4 months.
That's good, man. What do you do there?
Different stuff, but mainly I work front register, but they just put me on drive-through, so I take orders and stuff.
Okay, that's good. Is that a part-time job too? Or how many days a week do you work at McDonald's?
2. I work mainly Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay, that's good. How was it there? How was your experience there?
It's fun, but then you have like coworkers that get on you because you're new.
Oh yeah.
And some stuff you don't know how to do.
But you'll be all right though. You just gotta stick with it.
Yeah.
I actually tried to get a job at McDonald's when I was in college, but I didn't get hired. So, congratulations. You wanna give any shout outs to anybody who's watching?
I want to give a shout out to my papa Mike, my grandma Lindy, my mom, and my other papa Alvin Purnell, and that's basically it.
Okay. All right, Mom. I know we kind of cut you off. I know you have some more things you might want to say about Shannon.
I'm fine.
You
but
okay?
Shannon, he's a pretty good kid overall. And just to piggyback on the school and Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry, he's great.
Yes, he is.
He did a good job with this one, and I'm sure other ones too. He's great. He is appreciated.
How was your relationship with the school? I mean, that's very important. A lot of times we just focus on the school and the child, but really the whole family needs to be a part of that.
I was very involved in the school. I had the teacher's cell phone numbers. They had mine.
That's good.
Email. Any problem, they know they can call me.
Did they have to email you a lot?
Sometimes. But,
but that's normal, though. You know, normal stuff for a 14-year-old. That's good, though. So I'm glad you guys had a great experience over at Prestige. So you would definitely recommend it for people to go over there?
I
right?
would.
Okay.
I would recommend it highly to send your son there.
Okay. What are you going to say, Shannon?
I would recommend, like, people to go there, but it's going to be a challenge, but yeah, it teaches you a lot of things.
That's good. And I think over there, especially with Mr. Perry, from what I know about him, it's just not all about school. Like he really takes an interest in developing the person, especially that's an all-boys school. So he really has an interest in making boys become men and gentlemen. So I know it's just not all about math and English and art. He wants you to be a complete person. So,
and he takes it very seriously, and that's where the kids, they catch on, but they don't really like it. But yeah,
it's good for him.
It works out.
Yeah, it's good for him. All right, buddy, I have a certificate here for you. It says the Sunday Congo Hour presents our Jaquana M. Lewis Memorial Certificate of Academic Excellence to our Student of the Week, Shannon Thompson, and it's signed by myself. I just want to present that to you.
Thank you.
Tell you to keep up the good work. What kind of grades did you get in school?
A's and B's.
A's and B's? Okay.
A couple of C's here and there, but I don't fall off too far.
All right. You're going to keep it up at Del Castle too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he will.
Mom said yes, he will. Yes, he better, huh? All right. That's what you got to do, man. Got to start thinking about college now, too. And with those two careers that you chose, I'm sure you won't have a problem finding a job afterwards too. So keep up the good work, man. We'll keep in touch. All right.
All right.
All right. Well, thank y'all very much.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. All right. When I come through McDonald's, I want some free fries or something. All right.
I don't think I could do
that. You can do that. Okay, that's a good answer. Good answer. Good answer. Keep that job, brother. Keep that job. Don't worry about your friends. Keep your job. All right. We're gonna take a very quick break. Come back with Miss Jenny Pitts, and she's gonna talk about the People's Festival. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the show. Right now, we're going to interview Miss Jenny Pitts, who is no stranger to the community, and she's going to talk about her annual People's Festival, which is a tribute to Bob Marley, which is coming up on July the 27th.
27th.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming down.
It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for having us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the People's Festival.
Well, it's the 19th annual People's Festival. Wow. We're very excited that we've been blessed to be here that long, you know. So it's definitely coming up right around the corner, yes, July the 27th. We're really, really excited because this year we have sort of like a 2-day event.
Okay.
We've been very blessed and fortunate to have Stephen Marley agree to come to do an acoustic tribute to Bob. Right before we premiere the Marley movie. The Marley movie came out. It's the biography of Bob that's been, of course, sanctioned by the family. They kind of took the lead on creating this biography. There have been so many stories and books and written about Bob, usually by people that really didn't even really know him, but they do interviews and they, and then they put together a biography or what have you. This particular movie is sanctioned by the family and interviews so many of the people that were truly in Bob's life and that really could have stories to share. And they did a tremendous job of seeking people out. And we're kind of honored that Ibis, who was Bob's good friend and is my husband, which is why this tribute happens, was interviewed for the movie and is in the movie. The movie came out about a year and a half ago in April, a year ago this last April. And we did always have a desire to premiere the movie here in Wilmington because a lot of people have not seen the movie. It was out in theaters for a limited time. And so on July the 25th, the Thursday prior to the People's Festival, we'll be premiering the Marley movie right at the Queen Theater in Wilmington on Market Street.
Right on 5th and Market.
Right on 5th and Market. So as part of that premiere, we thought that it would be really nice if one of Bob's children could come and do a presentation, or at least be present for that premiere. And Stephen Marley graciously agreed to come and do an acoustic tribute to his dad prior to the showing of the movie. So we're very, very excited about that.
Wow.
So that's on Thursday night, July the 25th, and then on Saturday, July the 27th, we have a phenomenal festival that's come together beautifully. And this year is premiering and hosting so many talented artists from the Delaware area. So the Uprising stage pretty much has every performer on there is from the state of Delaware. And we've got such a variety. We're so proud of the great talent that's here in the state of Delaware. We've got Mean Lady, Fat Daddy Has Been, Grateful Dread, and a host of other artists that are on that stage, and they're representing our state really, really very well. On the One Love stage, our main headliner is Luciano. Luciano is an icon who has been touring and traveling around the world, making reggae music, very, very popular throughout the world. And the thing that I love about Luciano is that every time you go to a Luciano concert, it's really like being at a revival. His songs are so high-spirited, and we've created a lot of great energy around the fact that he's coming to Wilmington to perform for the first time. So we're excited about that. A host of artists on that stage as well. And if anybody's been to the People's Festival, they know that it's not all about the music on the stage. There's a lot of energy going on throughout the festival.
Yes, there is.
We have the International Food Court. We have arts and crafts from around the world. This year we have a Peace Pavilion, which the focus for our festival has always been unity and one love. But this year we've included in our title, in our heading, it's the People's Festival for Peace. And with so much going on right now in the world, and not only here in Wilmington, but throughout the country, just this last week, with the Martin verdict, it's really time for our people to continue to pull together and participate in the action of bringing peace into the forefront. We can't just keep looking and searching for peace in other places. We ourselves have to affirm it and bring it into our space. And the more all of us jointly call that into existence, it'll happen. So part of our People's Festival for Peace is we've incorporated by bringing nonprofit agencies that work throughout the year in some way or another to bring that energy into our communities with their everyday work. So Read Across Jamaica, Stop the Violence Coalition, AIDS Delaware, and a host of others. Even the DuPont Horticultural Center has come on board to be at the People's Festival under the Peace Pavilion so that they can continue to promote that. So even though it is a great event to come and have a great time, it's a family event. Children under 10 are free. Our tickets are only $20 in advance and $25 at the gate for a full day of fun in the sun for the whole family. So it's a donation to ensure that we can continue to bring this festival to Wilmington. It's the People's Festival, and it's a grassroots event. It's totally manned by volunteers, and we definitely, this is a work of love and a passion. So we invite everybody to come out and support us. Your $20 is a contribution that goes directly to continue and to sustain the People's Festival here. And we're looking at the 20th annual. So we're very, very excited about that.
Nice lineup for next year, too.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be the best of the People's Festival. So we're going to bring it, and we're thinking of a 2 or 3 day event. So it should be really a lot of fun. And
I think for your, I didn't mean to cut you off, I think, was it your 10th annual where we had a lot of the Marley family here?
Yes. That was a memorable event. All of Bob's sons that performed were here at the People's Festival for the 10th annual.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, along with a lot of other artists that, accompanied them. But that was a huge, huge event for us. So, we hope to make it as memorable for the 20th, if not even bigger and better than that. So. It's the energy's out there. We're working very hard already. We've got a lot of great things in store. Our call to action, the Peace Pavilion piece, is a very real, tangible call to action. We hope by next year, in time for the People's Festival, we'll have a chain for peace that every single citizen within the sound of the voice of the People's Festival will have a link in that chain that'll extend from Bob's house on 24th and Tatnall all the way down to the riverfront prior to the festival of next year. That. So don't be the missing link.
No, not at all. You won't talk about me. So once again, it's going to be on July the 27th, but on the 25th, Stephen Marley is going to be here at the Queen Theater at 6:30.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Right.
And you guys don't want to miss that. It's going to be very intimate, up close and personal. It's an acoustic tribute, so he doesn't have the full band, so it makes it much more personal. And you know, at the Queen Theater, you'll be right up close and personal. And he's looking forward to meeting and greeting everybody at that event. So it'll be very nice.
If people want to be there, they can call?
Definitely log on to our website at peoplesfestival.com.
All right.
And there's a phone number that's being posted at 656-2021 for information.
Okay.
But just go on the website and you can get tickets to the festival, tickets to the Stephen event. Okay. And we're even putting together a very nice package that's a VIP package for both events. So if you want to come to both events and get some perks and VIP pass for the People's Festival, go on the website and hear all about it. It's going to be a really nice package for everybody who's a true Marley reggae fan.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Miss Jenny.
Yes, thank you so much. The Congo Hour, we love the way you support us. We were just talking. I think you've been supporting us ever since year one, and without this kind of real community support, we really couldn't be doing what we're doing. So we really appreciate the way that the Congo family,
what you and your family, you know, what you guys do just to bring this event to Wilmington.
Yeah, well,
you know, so many people come from out of town because their cities don't really do an event like this. So we definitely have to support.
Well, give thanks and praise, and we truly appreciate you.
All right, you're welcome. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back with Sammy's Corner.
I'm blessed tonight to have an opportunity to share some of my thoughts with you. I guess Trippy ran out of people and called me in to fill the blanks. But I've had a very interesting day today. And I'm very proud, I guess, that Lapa stood up and challenged and agreed with Comcast that it's necessary to keep Channel 28 live. If any of you have watched Channel 28 today, if Lapa had not stood up 5 years ago, you wouldn't have seen the very important issue that was on almost everybody's time today. And somehow, the News Journal had conflicting statements about the New Moyer School. And so the school was not very satisfied with their comments and thought that the community should not be confused about New Moyer Academy. And they all came on live today simply because Lapa had worked so hard to maintain this status. And I just am so happy to be a part of the opportunities for people to clear these kind of things up. And it would not have been cleared up because Comcast had definitely decided that this one station holding on would not be around, and they had planned to close it up. They had notified some of their employees. They took out the coffee and the candy machines, the furniture, and we had to replace that so people could have a place to sit down. And over these 5 years, we've been able to put in new furniture, we've got new carpeting, and we've done everything but upgraded the equipment. And whoever's blessed, and we surely hope it's Lapa, to be the TPO, which means the third-party operator from Comcast, that we can continue to keep this Channel 28 live. it is so important because of who we are. You know, it was so sad to hear about the little boy down in Florida who was murdered, and then the man who murdered him was set free. You should be able to get, and I would hope that we would be able to get someone to come here and explain what happened. You know, someone made a comment today that said that Michael Vick fought the dogs, or he wasn't even there to fight the dogs. It was just on his property. But he got time for that. The gentleman that murdered the young man got off scot-free. After he was warned and told to get away from him, he continued to pursue him when he was asked to leave it up to the authorities, caused the conflict, and then finally shot him and was set free. In America, someone needs to do something about that. I find it so difficult to understand how our leadership is allowing that to happen. What do you think about that, Tripp?
Yeah, I mean, it's really a frustrating case, the Trayvon Martin case. It's unbelievable. And I'm glad that there wasn't a lot of a violent reaction, like some people had assumed that it might be. And a lot of people were very, very upset and hurt and frustrated and discouraged. But I think that we just can't stay in that mindset. And we have to take that energy and do something about it. It's one thing to talk about it and talk about it on Facebook and all the different social networks, but it's another thing to take all of these deep feelings that we have and these emotions that we have and make something positive come out of it. Whether it's mentoring some young children, whether it's just being more involved in your community, whatever it is, being more involved in a young child's life, being more involved in politics or in the things that the state may do, in law, or just being a part of how things work in society. Because I think that those who do have the power know they can get away with things like this because we don't react for long. There'll be an initial reaction, but it dies down so fast, and it's not a sustained effort to really make serious change. When I heard the verdict, like I said, it was unbelievable, and a lot of people who can't relate to it and try to justify it, I guess they haven't been where we have been, so it's hard for them to understand it, and it's hard for them to understand why a lot of people are frustrated because they haven't been in the shoes that we have been in. So I just saw so many comments on Facebook, both for and against the verdict, and I guess the main difference is that people who haven't lived the life of being discriminated against and prejudice and racism really can't understand why we are so frustrated and so hurt by that decision. And not only that, by decisions that just happen every day. A lot of times, people who agree with the verdict, they'll say, well, how come you're not upset about all the other killings that happen every day in America? Well, why aren't you upset about not only killings but just things that your race goes through almost on a daily basis or on a daily basis? How come you're not upset and protesting about all the murders that are happening in Chicago? How come you're not upset about black on black crime? Why is it just now because Zimmerman wasn't black? How come you're upset now? So I don't know if you want to touch on that or not, but I mean it's hard. It's unbelievable, and it really just shows us how much work we need to do and how much we need to stop fighting each other and just come up with some real strategies on how we're going to make life better for those for the next generation. And I guess when I was, when I saw some of the different comments on Facebook, and I saw how, some people were reacting to it, it made me think about locally, like even here in city government, where we're just constantly fighting each other and constantly going back and forth at each other. We could be doing so much more with those energies, and we really could be trying to create school systems and systems that will advocate for us, but instead we're caught up, fighting each other. So I think a lot of people are upset, a lot of people are angry, but I think we have to do something with that anger and with that emotion. We just can't let it fester. We can't not just be angry. We just can't be angry and not do anything about it.
Well, I guess everything you've said I agree with 100%, especially the part that says that we are crises oriented. Mm-hmm. We will blast and go crazy about things, and we're quickly to let those things get away.
Right.
We have to begin to understand how to move in a process way. And what we should be doing right now is working very hard on getting registered and talking about voting, because it starts right there. Mm-hmm. Your interest in the community starts right now. I noticed that when this first happened, the radio stations and everybody was on top of it, but as you said, it died down.
Right.
And it should have been so highlighted that they couldn't have done this. Mm-hmm. But because we're crises oriented and not process oriented, if we had a process, it would still be on the radios. Through the whole trial, could have been on the radios. We need our own papers to put this kind of stuff in the papers. Mm-hmm. But we prefer to be other than who we are. And that's a big problem in America for us as a people. We don't have value for who we are. Look at the voting statistics and how and what we could do if we were prepared. My friend Jimmy Petroselli often mentions that his uncle used to say to him, I don't mind you crapping in my hat, but don't get mad at me for stinking. So, what has been done to Afro-Americans in this country and the whole process that we've had to go through and the handicaps, and this whole deal with the young Martin gentleman is a direct way that America has showed us how they feel about us as a people.
And that's true. And even you kind of touched on it. Like even when you just said something about I forgot how you worded it that fast, but like a lot of people are comparing the Trayvon Martin case to like all the homicides in Chicago. But if you really think about it, those people who are killing each other out in Chicago, the government has failed them also. Because a lot of times there are systems set up so that kids aren't educated. And so they don't know any better. And they grow up into someone who will take a life, who just doesn't know any better. And I feel that if we put more focus on education and on families, 99% of our problems, of our issues would be fixed. We just can't say, like a lot of people are saying, the court system has failed us. But the system has failed us across the board when they don't educate our youth, our children, and they let them grow up to be an uneducated generation. And some of the the trials and tribulations that we're dealing with now is because society has not put that type of effort into them when they were growing up. Like you said, don't say I stink once you took a crap in my hat. Now we're talking about all these grown men who are out here selling drugs and killing each other and not taking care of their families, and just don't do what it takes to raise a wholesome family. But if you take a look at their background, I bet you the majority of them didn't have didn't grow up in an educated system.
Yeah, I think that education is the key. Mm-hmm. But our country, it was interesting, and I'm trying to think of the situation where, I think it was in Philadelphia or in Pennsylvania, where schools were being shut down, mm-hmm. and in prisons were being built.
Yeah, in Philadelphia. Right.
And the focus was not on education and preparing our kids. Mm-hmm. It's putting them in jail as a result of the system that puts them there.
Right, exactly.
And so we have to understand that is not what we want done, but we're not geared up to prevent that from happening. Mm-hmm. We have to, it was very interesting when you was going to school, and I would go to the PTA meetings in the school that you went to, and it would be jammed. Mm-hmm. Couldn't get in. You had to go early to even get a seat. But at the same time, there were schools in the city that there weren't more than 5 or 6 people. We've got to change that interest value. And we've got to get our people demanding how our schools are going to be run.
How do we do that, though? Like, how do we get Dover's attention? How do we get the governor's attention? Like, how do we get school boards' attention and the school district's attention? Like, those who can really make change if they wanted to, and if they knew that we were going to hold them accountable. Like, how do we get their attention? Because there's no doubt in my mind that if the state really wanted to, we could educate every child almost on a private school level education, if that were the focus and the desire of the state. But it's not. So how do we get them there?
In my meetings at work, what is it that I focus on most of the time? It's the values.
Right.
Okay. The values are not within the state level government.
Right.
The values will be stimulated when people vote differently. Okay, when we find out a certain group of people are geared toward registering, and as they say, the squeaky wheel will get the action. Mm-hmm. Once we find out that a certain group of people are beginning to question and vote a certain way and ask for certain things, that's when the government and the state will respond. I saw in city government many things that I did not agree with, that I thought could have helped if things were directed in a certain way, in a different way. But I don't think that the values were demanded by the community. Mm-hmm. The community has to decide, then the government will respond. The government is never going to respond as long as the community seems satisfied.
You're right. So how do we get that interest and those values in the community?
I think the only one that can actually do that are the churches. Mm-hmm. I think that the churches have to recognize how important they really are to make this change take place. Like when Dr. King was doing things back in the 60s, it was the churches that got together and made things happen.
You know, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think what you said is key. The churches have to realize how much of an impact that they really need to be in the community. You know, I had a church call me, or a representative from a church call me, and said that you know, some people on their block were organizing a block party, and that they didn't want those people on that block to have access to their church parking lot, and they didn't want the people on that block to be able to have their block party on the church's property. When that was because they said that they were unruly and, you know, just weren't going to behave. When in my mind, I thought that was the perfect opportunity for that church to reach out to that block and to those people who may have been unruly, because they may not have ever had somebody in their life to teach them, you know, the right way to do things. And that would have been the perfect opportunity for that church to say, you know what, we're going to get all of our members, we're going to wrap our hands around this block. But instead, they wanted me to make it impossible for that block party to spill over into their parking lot. And I was dumbfounded.
I don't think Jesus operated like that, did he?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think he did. And then I think that a lot of our churches have become less aware of the responsibilities that they have for the community, right. And they've just sort of serviced their own people. Mm-hmm. I you know, in the funeral business, and I am not, and I guess this could get me in a lot of trouble, but you know, when you need the Lord the most, that's when you're rejected, you know, by the church people. Mm-hmm. When you're down and out and you come in and you're broke and you're smelly and you stink and you need something, a lot of times you're not, no, I'm saying not all of the churches, I want to make that clear, but a lot of churches are not as proactive as they could be in situations that would allow a person to have arms wrapped around them and bring them through the crises that they're in at that time. And they are really, what do you call the folks that go out and reach people? But that's when those people are necessary to everybody. Whatever they're doing, stop singing and go and bring them up and sit beside them and nurture them. And then that person can say what a wonderful experience they had and change his life or her life, whatever it might be. But our churches, there are many, many of them in Wilmington. If all of them got together to say that we're going to nurture our people and they will make changes in lives of people who are in trouble, then I think we will be a lot better off. They're telling me that Sammy's Corner is over, and I hope that we can use the Trayvon Martin example as a need for us to step forward as a people in this country, and where we are positioned as a people in this country and what we can do. Each of you sitting there can do more. Each of you can be like the people who came to the Lapa dance on Friday night, the senior citizens who were not able to get out, but they came out and they danced and they were a lot of fun. So it's the things that we have to change the tradition. And what do you think about that?
You're right. We just have to change our values, and I think that I think the church does play a significant role in that. We just have to, hope churches can get on board and maybe change the way. Of course, like you said earlier, it's not all churches. Some churches are doing a great job of community outreach, but we need all the churches to do that, because so much can be taught, and so many people can be reached through the church.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. I'll have to pay Norman for a little overtime if we go over. All right. But I must take my hat off to Cornerstone Church.
Oh, yes, definitely.
The leadership there at Cornerstone, whenever we've tried to make an event happen, the whole thing Friday would have been a chaos if it wasn't for Cornerstone Church. And they're lending us their vehicles to move the seniors to Belvedere. So I think that we need a trophy for that church, because they have never said no. And Reverend Denigan is an angel.
Yes, he is.
And he is my hero in the fact that whenever you ask, he provides his whatever you need to make anything successful when we're doing projects in Wilmington.
He's a really good man. A few years ago, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I've been doing the Student of the Week program for like maybe 10 or more years now, probably longer than that. But probably about 5 or 6 years ago, he gave me money out of his own pocket to support that program, without any fanfare or anything like that. He just was interested in things that I was doing, for the kids. And he went into his pocket and gave me money to help support, to help buy the kids breakfast. So he's a really good man.
He is an angel. He is a fine man, and again, we want to thank him. And I'm sure the seniors want to thank him. And he's the kind of church that's going to help us to move forward.
That's right. Well, they are telling us to wrap up, so we're going to go straight into our funeral announcements, and then we're going to have some community news.
Okay.
Thank you for Sammy's Corner. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, first we have Mr. Ernest L. Neal, age 70, departed this life July the 10th. His funeral services will be on next Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Congo Funeral Home on 24th and Market Streets. Viewing will be from 8:30 to 9:45 only, and his burial will take place on Monday, the following Monday at 11 a.m. at the Delaware Veterans Memorial Cemetery. Mr. Francisco Brown, age 56, departed this life June the 29th. His funeral services will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. at the Congo Funeral Home on 2nd and Gray Avenue. His viewing will be from 6 to 7, and his burial will be private. Services for Mr. Dino Gilliam, aged 64, who departed this life on Friday, will be announced. Services will also be announced for Mr. Wendell King, age 63, who departed this life July the 9th. Services for Miss Lavina Madrick, age 24, who departed this life July the 11th, will be announced. And services for Mr. Lester Greer, age 63, who departed this life July the 14th, today. His memorial services will be announced. And that does conclude all of our funeral announcements. If you have any questions, please call us at the funeral home at 652-8887. Also, you can always go to our website at www.congofuneralhome.com. And Stormer, I think I heard Stormer and Norman Oliver coming in the door. I don't know if I
heard your dad's gonna give me $2 for
I don't know if I.
Stay as long as you want.
He's saying we can stay as long as we want, because he heard my dad was on paying for overtime. So we're gonna go ahead and sign off. I think it's like 8:59. So you want to go ahead and sign off now?
Off.
Sign off. Now I do have just a couple of announcements. Dual diagnosis, mental illness and substance abuse. It's going to take place at St. Paul's Church at their annex building at 101 East 32nd Street on this Saturday from 10 to 12. For more information, please call 764-5618. Once again, their number is 764-5618. And the Ram Role Model Society presents Who Runs the World? Their summer enrichment program for girls. It's taking place at the Browns Boys and Girls Club. That's at 1601 Spruce Street. For more information, please call Sharice Monique at 723-7759. Once again, her number is 723-7759. And once again, I'll see you this Saturday at the 2nd District Annual Community Day. It's going to take place on 18th and Bainham Boulevards from 12 to 4 p.m. We'll have a lot of fun. See you on Saturday. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for Community Crossfire.